vlog. So today's video is going to be the first in the series about the new video editing PC we're in the middle of building. Our last PC went and died on one. What actually happened was it was an old gaming machine. We had two NVIDIA cards in there in SLI mode, and one of them decided to die. So the PC still worked, but we thought it was a sign, time to build a new one. I mean, we've wrung that one's neck for the last 10 years, so it was definitely due an upgrade. The fact that it did some of the video editing as well as it did is a miracle. So to start off, we're going to go through some of the components we've purchased and why we purchased them. We still have some things to buy, but not much. We have enough now to get up and running. We have been purchasing all our PC equipment from a local shop called Falcon Computers in Sunderland. I'll put a link below in the description to their website. Absolutely fantastic place. We're really lucky that it's like on our doorstep, so we can actually go in the shop. But it's been around for a very long time, and it's just keep getting stronger and stronger. I think we've been going there for our components for about the last 15 years. So really good shop, good lads. So right, let's go and have a look at what we've bought, and we'll talk about why we've bought it. Okay, so over here looking at the equipment, first things first, the motherboard that we chose is a mid-range gigabyte board with a B350 chipset, and it's the AB350 Gaming 3. We chose this motherboard because it has some really good reviews. We knew we wanted the Ryzen CPU range, so obviously you had to buy the appropriate motherboard for that CPU to sit in. So yeah, this thing was getting some really good reviews on YouTube. We didn't want a high-end board because for the extra bits that you get with the high-end chipset, it doesn't quite, for us, justify the extra expense. So for some extra PCI lanes and things like that, we're not going to be putting two graphics cards in this system. We're only going to stick with one, so that was null and void. So an informed decision took with the B350 chipset. We have had gigabyte boards in the past before. We really like them. We have had motherboards from other manufacturers, and we have had issues. We've had no issues with gigabyte, so stick with what you know. Moving on to the graphics, we have chosen a pretty low-end card, to be honest with you. We've chosen the RX 560 by Sapphire. For video editing, graphics does come into play, but it's not the most important thing unless you're doing like 4K video or something like that. The graphics card comes into play when you're doing your rendering, so the more you have, the better. But we decided to make a compromise and buy a lesser graphics card so we could buy a higher CPU, which is more of what video editing uses. So yeah, so we're pretty happy with the choice that we made there. It should be really good. The CPUs we've chosen is a amd-ryzen 7 1700. This CPU, out of all the Ryzen ones, is getting the best review. It's got the biggest bang per buck, they call it, so it's got the most performance for the price point. So this was £300, and it's completely overclockable, really good, really stable, absolutely incredible bit of kit according to the reviews we're looking at. So yeah, memory we've chosen is some HyperX, and it is the Savage, and we've bought DDR4, which is what pairs up with the motherboard and the CPU, and we've bought a 32 gig pack of 2400 speed. We're stuck with 32 gig because from all the information that we're looking at online, there was 32 gig was the best performance you were going to get. 16 gig was enough, but you could get better. But even though you could go as high as like 128 gig now, the performance increase for the extra price again just wasn't worth it. So that's what we've gone with there. We still need to buy a hard drive. This is the old hard drive out of the last machine, and we're actually going to replace it with a SSD hard drive, so a solid state hard drive. The more reliable, the much faster, and all of that kind of stuff. So this won't be staying in there very long, but we're going to put this in for now because we're going to run some benchmarks to see if how much difference there is between this and a SSD. Power supply we're putting in there isn't a new one. We've had this one a while, but it's a really good power supply. It's an Antec True Power Trio 650 watt. Again, really good power supply, really well reviewed and all that kind of stuff. But the last system we had was really power hungry, so we had a 800 watt power supply in there because this one just didn't have enough watts. But for what we're using here, this is a lot more energy efficient, so 650 is more than enough. The case, we're sticking with our old case, which is a Cooler Master HEF LAN party case. Really like this case for several reasons. One, it can keep the wiring really neat, and you'll see that when we're building it. Access to the board and all the components are excellent in the top. But the main reason is this hot swap hard drive. So you put your hard drive in there, and we have several different hard drives for different things. So you put your hard drive in there, pop it in, turn it on, and it's as easy as that. Say if Ben wanted to be on with his games hard drive, all he'd have to do is take it out, put his in, and bam, he's up. So absolutely brilliant case, can't recommend this enough. We've had it for a few years now and it's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, so that's the components we've bought. So I hope that explained a little bit to you. If it didn't, if you have any questions, pop it down below in the comments and I'll answer as best I can. But we'll see you in the next one, folks.